Oh, hello. Oh, wicked. Awesome. Yeah. Right. Hi. Okay. I probably better make a bit of an explanation here. I'm trying to get into the habit of streaming on Thursdays and Saturdays, starting roughly around 12. And to anyone who was trying to sort of keep up to date and everything, it's 6 o'clock now. So if ever I was sort of going to work, right, and it's like, oh, how's your first day? Yep, you done well. You can show that you showed interest in whatever the thing was. But you're 6 hours late. It's not impressive. Anyway, I do apologise. It was, yeah, I had a certain thing that I needed to get done, but it's all sorted now, and I'm back in business. One thing that I did do earlier today, so I had a bit of a problem where I was getting a certain problem where like the entire of Unity would just crash, and that's obviously, you're thinking, oh, I've done something terrible now. So let's have a look. I'll show you. Anyway, right. So let's go back over here. Just loading a few things up. That should be okay. Have this worry that we might have to wait for. No, everything's fine. We're all good. So, I had a problem where when you play multiple cards in a row, like sometimes the whole thing would crash, but like it's not as though it would stop and give an error message. It literally would close the entire of Unity, and for the life of me I couldn't work out, because the problem with when that happens is you've got nothing to go by. You just have to use a lot of trial and error to try and work out, oh hey, how you doing, you alright? I was just explaining about my random crashes that I got. So, like, I thought me trying to fix that on the stream was going to be a nightmare, because you'd constantly just see the whole thing crashing and then be reloading it up. I was thinking, I don't want to, I don't want to subject anyone to that. But one thing which I was a little bit gutted about was when I was actually putting it together, it was actually quite a fun process. So, like, I'll tell you, I won't go into like a super loads of detail, but I knew that. So what I'm doing here is I am summoning the army recruit and the guard recruit at the same time, and obviously it does one then the other. And I had a problem where sometimes it would just give an error message. I mean, no, it would just crash the whole thing. And I spent a while trying to work it out. And I did narrow it down to the card action script. And it's actually, I'll tell you what, it's one of those, I accidentally did create an infinite loop. Oh yeah, and by the way, as part of my sort of process of trying to work out what to do, I had to use 3 more letters on the keyboard. So now we're up to semicolon now. So we've done all the QWERTY UAOP, ASDF, all the way up to semicolon. And I knew it was to do with the actual actions of what the card does. So it's nothing to do with what's happening in the hand and the cards, it's to do with this. And it is actually quite clever what actually went wrong. So whenever we're performing an action, we do this script. You know what, we can probably get rid of this now. This is no longer necessary. And if a card is currently being activated, or if it's not being activated, it will start this coroutine where card being activated equals true, and it will just play it out. And if not, then we add it to the list of queues, the queued list of cards that we need to do, right? So we're doing all of that. That's brilliant, right? And then it comes to this bit of code here. Now, what we're doing is we're checking to see if the queued so we're checking here to see if the queued list of cards, the ones that are in the pipeline, to actually occur. So we've already played the card and we're just waiting for another previous card's action to occur, right? We're seeing if that is greater than 0, and if it is, we're getting hold of this the card class, which is the next card in line that we added earlier when we were putting when we're adding it to the queue, and then we're going to perform this action. Now, I won't. I mean, I'm slightly scared to do this now, but the way, like, I remember what my code looked like before. It was. Let's have a look. Actually, you know what? It's I'm trying to work out. So basically, what I did was it would do this action, and I would just I would put this queued list of cards 0 straight into there, and then the next line afterwards would be remove, right? Which seems quite innocent, right? But the reason that that doesn't work is because all of these, whenever we're doing any of these coroutines, there's certain ones that literally don't take any time at all. They happen instantly, right? And so that would be if you were... Let's have a look. Yeah, if we were doing, like, gaining armour for our defenders or our attackers, right, but there are no attackers or defenders to give armour to, the routine would just instantly finish. And what that would mean is we we start this coroutine, right, and it cycles through, realises that there's no actual point where we're using yield return null that it needs, and it would get back to this point and go again. And if this was beneath, it would never have reached there, and it would literally break the computer just going in an infinite loop. Anyway, I needed to, like, I was quite happy. It didn't even take me that long to fix, and it was so, I was like, when I just realised, I was like, oh, that's where, that's so, it is quite often, and I don't know if this is, like, the case, you know, but it does feel that a lot of the times that you actually get crashes like that, it's because you've created an infinite loop. So, and it had to be very specific circumstances, so for this to work, for you actually to get the crash. But now this has alleviated it, and I mean, part of my working process did involve having the J, K, L, and semicolon buttons all doing various different things, and me just tapping and trying to work out how to actually, like, recreate this crash. And yeah, so that was a tough going, but I got there. Anyway, so that was like I know you're thinking, that isn't that the title of the stream? So what are we actually going to do today? What are we going to do? Oh yes, right. So we have got another, like, little error message that I want to try and fix. And first of all, I want to try and create it, and then I want to try and fix it. And I think this one should be quite a light, nice, and easy one. So I believe, let me just try and work this out. It's to do with when you are drawing cards and trying to select cards at the same time. But let me just try and work this out. So we're playing, and I'm desperately trying to... Okay, it didn't work. I'm trying to remember what you need to do. So, by the way, you can just stack as many cards as you like. Right, okay, that didn't work. It might be actually when they're drawing here for the first time. Ah, no. Oh no, I can't even create the error message. Okay, right. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Right, I might have created another problem, but that's okay. Okay. Oh no, I think I know what it is. Right, again, I'm actively trying to create a problem so I know where to fix it. I think it's... I'm just going to end turn. So, unfortunately, all these guys get killed as well. So, I'm just looking for... because I think it's to do with when you draw a card. Yeah, so this one here... Let me just create some attackers. And I'm going to use this one here, and I think it's to do with when you draw a card. Yes! Ah! Yes! Right, fantastic. Okay, I was going crazy there. I was like, whoa! Right, so that was the error message. And why? What happened there? So, our function, when we're trying to get the cards to look all smooth, whenever we're hovering over, it tries to deal with the... it tries to kind of deal with the current 3 cards that you have, or the current number of cards you have, when you first start hovering over. So if you start hovering over and then a card is suddenly created, the code doesn't deal with that. It doesn't know what to do with this, and neither do I. But that's the fun part. We're going to find out. So, like, I want to just. I'm going to do, like, just purely because I'm going to have to do a bit of testing on here. First of all, we're going to have a look at the game, main game master, and we're going to change the deck around, because quite an important card for all of this to work is. Let me have a quick look. It's summon deck routine. Actually. Set up. I think is it just summon? I just got to remember how we actually add the cards. But let's go here. Yeah. Anyway, it's basically setting up here. So we want more of these sustained attacked cards. So let's just say let's add 10 of them. So we're going to reliably get hold of it. And these rangers, they have served us very well, but we don't really need them. I still want it to be there in the deck. So I'm going to just try and create the error message again. And then I'll work out how to actually get it all to work and stuff. Right, let's clear this off. Right. So, yeah, the thing which is confusing is while you're drawing the cards, the error message isn't coming up. But I don't know exactly why. So, anyway, right. So, I'm playing this. I'm going to just keep my hand over there. No, that's fine. So I need to just keep swinging around. Why is that not working? Okay. So. Okay. Again, it's one of those classic problems of something should be going wrong and it's not going wrong, which is the thing going wrong. Okay. Okay, yes, oh, thank God. Okay, right. Yeah, it's to do with, I think I know what it is. We need to... So, yeah, it's going to be all about the... I think it's going to be under card scripts, isn't it? Deck script. No, hand script. It's going to probably involve both of these, and we'll do a bit of tweaking. See why it's happening. And I think I do know why. Oh, of course. So I think both of these functions, I just want to check. Find all references. There's nothing there. And this one here, find all references. Nothing. We can get rid of these. This is basically when we did that whole episode on modulation, and I later realised that modulate isn't actually the correct word. So anyway, we don't need those anymore. That's fine. Just clearing up a bit of space. Right. So new modulate. What's going on here? So if it's not busy. Oh yes. Oh, it's to do with force modulation. Okay. Yes. Right. So let's find all the times where this is called. So find all references. So it happens when we hover over, and obviously it's the clever thing about this is it works to, like, when you're highlighting one particular card, and it works to kind of bring all the cards back. Right. So right. So what are we looking at? The drag card routine. It happens over there as well. Okay, so we actually just need to go into the routine and find out what we got going on. So it's the hand script. So while modulating, it's fixing all of those. So I think what we need to do here... Okay. So I also want to, because I think it's like what we need to do is, the reason that it's crashing is so we can actually get rid of all this. This is just an if statement that is now no longer needed. Actually, you know what? We might need it. Oh, we might need that. So what's happening is it's looking at the cards in hand .count, right? And then it's cycling through all of the card vex that we set up. So when we're doing this set modulation vex, this is basically saying this is where the cards are currently and this is where they need to go to. Like when at the beginning, when you've just started using it, let's just say there's 3 cards, it's going to set out where the 3 cards need to go. Whereas when a 4th card suddenly gets added in, it will try and get a number that's out of its array. So there's various different ways we can do this. And let me just have a little look. Go to definition. So set modulation vex. Oh yeah, of course. This was where we realised all of this. I had way too many for statements, so we can get rid of that. So I'm sort of cleaning stuff up at the same time. I'm guessing we don't need that. Right, let's go. Yeah, the reason I'm having a little bit of a scan over here is I want to just check that it doesn't actually set the modulation float number. In fact, let's go find all the references to this. Mod float equals 0. New modulation. Yeah, okay, it's fine then. Okay, so, right, here's what we're going to do. While modulating, if, right, cards in hand .count is, I think we should even say, is not equal to original card vex. Yeah, that's fine. Dot length. Oh no, hold on. Oh, is this? Oh, of course, this is actually still yeah, dot count. Okay, yeah, I was going to say another thing. Sorry, like multiple things going at once. These can definitely be arrays and not lists, but that's okay. Right. So yeah, if there are no if the number of cards in hand is actually different to the number of vex that we've put together, then we're simply going to call this. We're going to call this script, and because we've got the card to modulate here where we set it, this should be fine. Okay, so we have to set. I'm really not making this super clear. I do apologise. Card to modulate around. So basically, it's going to do this function again to get all the vectors, but it will give us a new separate set of vectors, a new one to compensate for the new card that's just been added, like mid card modulation. So I think that might actually be enough. Let's give that a try. And again, I'm trying to create the error message. Hopefully, now that I've done this, this should just. It should just not allow the error message to occur. Yeah, because here it says index was out of range, and that's probably referring to it's saying there isn't enough of these vectors to go back to. Right, sorry, this is really complicated. Wow, gosh, I do apologise. This is more like kind of me fixing something from last stream, or several streams ago. Right, okay. So that's all good. Right, now let's go. Let's try and 1, 2. Yeah, okay, it did actually work. Now, the only slight problem that it had was, and I kind of don't mind it too much, was there's normally a bit of an animation when the card comes out of the deck. It kind of spins around and comes down, but it sort of forces it to come over. So let me just experiment again. Yeah, so that's fine. It just finishes that and then moves over. Okay, I'm kind of okay with that. Right, now does that still look okay? Does that still look smooth? I think that's okay for the time being. There's obviously lots of ways which I can make it look better. Right, okay, next sum. Right, I'm actually skittling through these quite well. So I was actually just I was writing down the things that I needed to get done today. So yes, here's the next one. So I'm going to end turn, and so if I want to play 2 cards, right, I play the Guard Recruit and then I play the Ranger. I want to play one after the other. When I'm doing that Ranger, not only does it not actually get highlighted properly, but it kind of goes back down. So I play this and then I play this. This one, even though it's still being played, it returns back to the hand and then sort of moves down. And I want to change that. So that's what I'm going to work on next. So first of all, we've got to work out why does this... oh yeah, hold on. I've run out of mana. Oh, we have got a lot of sustained attack, which is not a useful card in abundance. But here we go. So when we play this one card here, it stays up. But if we play this one... Yeah, okay. Let's try and work out, let's go through the whole routine as to everything that occurs and then find out why that is the case. So, right, card. I think it would just be card script. Let's have a look. Right, so on pointer down. Right, I think this is where... So if the card is in hand, we drag the card. Because I think all of this is to do with making sure that as soon as you play a card the first time, it detaches itself from the hand at the appropriate time. Whereas I believe it doesn't at the moment. It detaches it once it's done the animation and then moves back down. I think what it should do, as soon as you let go of the mouse to say that you've done it, it should leave your hand straight away. So that's what I'm going to work on. So drag card routine. Let's have a look though. That's just me. That's my speculation. I actually don't know. So while we got the mouse button down, there's some changey colour things which I mess around with. Okay. So. Yes, okay. I think I've worked this out. So what's happening is I've got here hand script dot remove this card. So so basically this bit here, this bit of code here is the thing, the bit of code that removes the card from the hand after you've played it. And before any of that happens, we're still waiting for the mana coins to be spent, and we're still waiting for the card to flip to say it's been done. Oh yeah, actually, it says, yeah, we had a problem there ages ago, but we've fixed it now because, yeah, I had a problem with dealing with it being busy within busy, but we just had a new... Sorry, just talking to myself. Well, I can get rid of this. That's no longer needed. Right, so we've got set card in hand. So all this is actually doing is essentially just meaning set card in hand. We are just literally saying, is the card in hand? No, it's not. That's all this function is doing. I could simply just have card in hand equals false, but I thought I would do this big rigmarole to I don't really know why. I think part of me was thinking. Now, where were we? We were over here. It's because instead of this one doing it, I could just remove this card. And within this code here, we can set it to card in hand false. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to experiment and see and have a little look through. So what I'm kind of looking to do is I want it to be as soon as you let go of the mouse button, it then sort of deals with this. So the only so let's have a look, because that's set. Oh yeah. Oh, of course. I've even got it to set the parent. Oh yeah. Yeah, I've got quite a bit of code that isn't that necessary, because at the moment I'm just looking for the card to move in the direction of the discard pile and then destroy itself, but I've still got it to set itself as a parent, which isn't actually that necessary. Discard pile script. Yeah. Oh, why have I got that in there? That's interesting. Oh. Okay, hold on. I'm going to do a bit of... I realised I have actually... let me just move a few things back. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So... I definitely did do some sort of work over here. So let's find out what happens. In fact, first of all, I'm going to just save that there, and we're going to, just to clear a bit of space, close all but this, and now we're going to go to this definition. So what happens when we remove a card? So we remove a card. It does this. So we start this coroutine, and we've put the card that we're looking to remove. Cards in hand. Remove that. That's fine. We're getting the rotation vex, doing all of that. Huh. Now, obviously, this was brilliant. This was groundbreaking stuff back in the day. But essentially, when we're removing a card, we're saying all of this is just saying to move the cards in the appropriate place where they should be, so they still kind of remain fanned out, and it looks like you're holding. Right, now hear me out here. So that's definitely needed. So, because okay, right, I'll say what I'm thinking. We get rid of all of that, and we have new modulate null, and yeah, just null. Okay. This is giving us an error message because there's no. So this is just. We just need to put a yield return null just purely because it's just giving us an error message. This whole busy being true and false doesn't matter. Yeah, so, like, I mean, if this works, basically we've cut a large chunk of code that's not necessary. Okay. Because, yeah, what we're doing, we're basically just removing the card and then just saying do the modulate again to just put all the cards back. This is a bit of a long shot because it just, you know, when you're thinking, I'm sure I put some like hard graft into all this code, and now I don't need it. I'm just having a look at what it does because I think this is set return back. Oh no, maybe part of it is actually useful. It's okay. It's okay. Let me just get rid of this for the time being. So in the card script, we've got this set return deck. Let me just find out how many times this is actually used. Now this is weird because the reason I'm sort of staring at this intently is because we've got when we're exiting, it's saying that I'm just doing all of this code, and I don't think I need to. So we definitely need all of this because this is setting the setting where like the order in layer. So this is good. Let me just experiment. Right, get rid of that. Yeah, I don't even know if that's necessary. So the point which I'm trying to get at is where we're setting this return vec and this return EULA vec and everything. I don't even know if it's even necessary. Right, so new modulate. Right, let's go get rid of this. And I'm just going to play one card and see if the hand does what I hope it does. So let's just see if we get any problems at the moment. I don't know. I just like sometimes I look. I think I put so much hard work into that code. I'm sure I did, but now I just have to get rid of it. And I'm trying to sort of justify thinking, is there anything that we can keep from this? But I like in my head, I don't actually think we do. There's nothing. So, right. So I'm not going to let go just yet. I just want to check everything else is working at the moment. Dun, dun. Okay. Alright, so we play this up. That was a really terrible example because this is a card that draws other cards. So we play this. Ah, okay. Right, and it hasn't done that yet. That's fine. So let me have a look, try and work out. Right, remove the card. So, I need to work out if it's acknowledged that it has removed the card. And because surely once we've actually removed this card from hand and we do a new modulate, oh, yes, okay, just a sec. If not busy or force modulation. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so the reason that didn't work is because it was busy with something else. I can't remember what it was, but it was busy at the moment you do the new modulation. So that's fine. We just need to force modulate. Force modulation true. Keep doing that. Right, here we go. Less code. Yes, you are right. Less code, less bugs. You're completely right. It's just, I think it is weird because I think this was how I removed a card before, where I would get all the code and move everything back. But since I've got the modulation, which essentially deals with what you're highlighting and everything, and it does it sort of fluidly, so you can move back and forth, this code, even though it's only like about a month old, is actually quite archaic and unnecessary. So now what should happen, right, what I'm hoping to happen, I'm going to cast this card, right, I'm hoping that the moment I let go, the cards are all going to fall back into the 4-card formation. So letting go now. Okay. That isn't quite what I was after. So has it acknowledged? So I want to see how many cards are in, because that was a very odd response. That was not what I was expecting at all. So let's see, if we go over here, we've got, there's no card to modulate, so let me go on, yeah, so maybe, hold on, because unless I'm mistaken, the actual angle of the cards is the angle that we want it to be. So I'm just looking at, just checking I'm not covering, I'm just looking at this number here. So the card furthest on the right is 3. Okay. Right, this actually doesn't actually look quite as bad as I thought it would be. So yeah, this just requires just a little bit of thought, because what should have happened was as far as the X coordinate, because there's 4 cards, it should be something like minus 2.25, minus 0.75, positive 0.75, and then 2.25, right? So somehow we have just got all of these shifted slightly in the wrong position. Let me have a look. So so we have removed this card, and it has, so what I also want to do as well is so with the hand script we have a list of stuff, cards in hand. Okay, so we actually had that the whole time. Okay, so let me have a quick look. So I just need to get hold of the hand script and just study exactly what I'm looking at. So this is the hand script here. Right, so we've got five elements there. This is representing these 5 cards. And I am going to play this one. Oh, okay. So, no, because they're all shifted slightly at the wrong place, I think. Yes. Yeah, they're all at the wrong place, and I've got to work out exactly why that is. And I think this is all in the card script. So, let's have a little look. Because I've got to work out why I have intentionally set the hand script busy there. Why I've even made a function where you can set something busy outside of the thing. Right, so... Oh, okay, so set it busy there. It's still busy there. Huh. You know what? I think since I've done this modulation thing, I'm going to take a bit of a gamble here and say... Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm going to take a gamble and say the only reason that we're actually setting this busy is because ages ago, when I was making the end turn button, we've got this big script, this big busy script, which tells you when everything's busy. And I wanted to make sure that the code, the game knew when something was in process. So if you're dragging a card around, the game needed to know like that something was being busy. So I think this is still actually acceptable to put in. So we're going to set that to busy there and find all references. And we're going to set it to false at the end. That's completely fine. However, here we don't actually need any of this. We don't need this at all. And here, I am going to... I literally want this done. I want this here done as soon as you spend it. I want all of this. And what I also kind of want to do is for it to spend the mana coins and flip the card at the same time. I think I kept them separate. And where I've got if you have enough mana, it's already checked that, so that's irrelevant. That doesn't matter. I quite like, yeah, set card in hand. So let's first of all check. We're not going to do too many changes in one go. So let's see if that works. So our overall plan is we just want the cards to go back in the formation they should do once a card has been removed. So we got this. I'm going to play this one here. Not quite, but close. Okay. So I'm just going to have another quick look at the hand script while I do that. I'm just going to check as well, just while I'm waiting for it to load. I just want to check that I did save my changes, because I did feel that might work. Oh. No. Yeah, so let's try and work out why, after removing this, hand go. So as soon as I let go, it instantly gets rid of it. Just got to work out why it's... Let's have a look at these actual vectors, these target vecs, the places that it should be. So this is the target X position vex. And it's skipping one. Now that's interesting. I wonder why that is. So all of these... okay, that's going to be kind of impossible. Don't worry about that. That's fine. Yeah, that doesn't matter. Okay, alright, okay, we've actually narrowed down the problem. So, what we're actually looking at is... So the actual angles of the card, the Euler angles, are correct. It is meant to be minus 15, minus 5, 5, 15. However, when we're actually setting the destination, it's as if we're skipping one. So let's have a little look at that. Let's try and work out. Let's do some workshopping. So yeah, like I just don't know why, but that's fine. Now we actually worked out where the problem lies. So when we're in the wrong thing there, right? We're removing a card. So we have removed the card from the script, and now we're doing a new modulate. I think so. Go to definition. So we are forcing the modulation, so this will always happen. We're now setting. I think it's in this one. This is where I reckon we've got. This is where where we're going to resolve all the problems. So new modulation vex. It's going in. This is now coming in with null. So when it's these original vex, now what's happening? No, it's not the original vex, it's these target vex. So so we're still, yeah, this is weird. I'm liking it though. I'm excited to try to get to the bottom of this. So we've got a number of cards in hand. Is 4, and it is 4. We're setting it the size to 4, which is fine. This is what's setting the... But what we're actually... It's all about what's happening here. The target actual destination of the VEC. If card in hand is equal... Oh, I do know what the problem is. I just can't quite work out why it would be in here. If card in hand is equal... Oh, okay. Ignore all of this. None of this matters. Okay. So I think I just want to check the debug.log. We're just going to put hey here. So when we remove the card, we should have a debug log message that just does this. And if that is the case, yeah, done it, worked it out. Okay, it's fine. It's actually. It's kind of easy to fix. I see where the problem is. Right. So, I spent so long. I was like, what is going on here? This all looks fine. Why is it so complicated? So basically, when, like, part of the reason I did the modulation to begin with, where the cards move around, is because I wanted to make it smooth when you're hovering over. And so when you remove the vector, all we're doing is we're setting the target vex to their original return vec. Whereas all we actually need to do is... I think, even though it's going to take a little while, we should just actually use the code that we had earlier that we've... I might have actually... Did I delete it? I can't remember now. No, I didn't. Okay, it's actually quite a lot of this. I think this is what we need. Let's go copy and paste it. Let's go copy and paste it and then break it down. And try and work out... yeah, in fact... I think we need quite a lot of this. It's not all of it. So, yeah, because basically the advantage with this remove card routine is it compensates for the card being removed and setting a new Euler angle. And it doesn't, and my modulation thing doesn't compensate for a card being removed. So so let's have a look. Yeah, it's just a matter of getting this information. I'm just going to copy. I think we might need some of this stuff as well. So we'll copy this. And just find out exactly where we're putting it. It's in this one here. And the rotation vex. Oh. Hang on a sec. Okay, so right, new change of plan. So basically, the rotation vex. I basically need to do another thing like this, but for the position vex. Except for obviously with positions. Right. So this will be should be okay. Vector 3 get return vec get return vex. Let's go get card return vex. Yeah, this is an interesting one. So I'm just having a look because this is how did I actually get all this this sizes and stuff before? So this is the Y offsets. Okay, right. So we want this. So I'm just sort of picking and choosing all the bits that we need to get this to work. So the Y offsets is how much when the cards kind of go up as you select them. Right. We want that. That's good. I'm going to steal that. I don't think we need any of that. I don't think we need the rotation vex. We might need that. Let me actually, I think we'll copy this and then just take the bits out that we don't need. Right, so let's have a look. Yeah. So, yeah. So I think this is the main thing here, isn't it? So that's don't really need that. Because I think what I'm actually doing here is presetting all the return vecs of the cards in hand, and I don't even know if we need that anymore. Certainly don't need that. Get rid of that. And we don't need any of that. Okay, right. Okay, so yeah, I think we're actually getting pretty close. Right. Okay, let me just clear a bit of this. Yeah, that's fine. New modulation routine. Oh yeah, it's not that, it's this one. Okay. Yeah, I see. I think what I've got a way of basically cutting a massive chunk of code. I just want to be a little bit delicate and a bit careful as how I do it, because like where I've got this get rotation vex. This is basically doing I'm doing so much work, so much useful work in this one little bit of code, which is like translating this a lot easier. So we're just going to have get rotation vex. Okay. So I don't even know if we ever really need to use this. I don't think it's doing too much harm there. So we're going to have, vector 3. Vector 3 return vex equals a new bunch of vector 3, which is going to be the same size as the cards in hand dot count. Okay, right, so we set that, and instead of actually having a return vec there, we can just have return vex I equals that, and then we're going to return the return vex. Okay. So yeah, this will require a little bit of trial and error here. So what's going to happen is if the card script is equal to null, we're going to have because I think I've actually called it the target card vex, but we can't actually directly translate this. So when I said we're going to change it to arrays, that's exactly what we're going to do now. So all of this, we're going to change it to arrays, get a bunch of error messages, and then fix them one by one. I think that's the way forward. So public, so we're going to do slightly different syntax. That'll do. Right, okay. I think yeah. So that is just equals new. Vector 3. In fact, we can just copy all of this. It's one of those where it's like I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent here, but I think this will fix quite a lot of things. I think once I've done this, I'm looking forward. I'm trying to work out what my next sort of big sort of project. I think we're going to make So the next sort of type of card is going to be it's going to be constructs. So they essentially are the same as powers in Slay the Spire, in that you play it once, the card goes from your deck. You can't play it again, but it's something that will just give you a small little buff throughout the rest of the battle. Right, so. Yeah, so I've got a bunch of error messages that are going to sort of greet me when I come out, but that's fine. Yeah, return position decks. I want to kind of keep the code consistent, so let's rename that to return card. Return position decks. Okay, so just renaming that, make it a bit easier. Right. So let's go get rid of some of these squiggly lines, try and work out what's going on. So what we're going to do is, all we're actually going to do, because they're now arrays and not lists, we're going to go so yeah, basically we're just changing the syntax so it deals with so it treats it as an array and not a list. Yeah, I do have a feeling that when I'm putting this all together, like kind of, I don't think there'll be any major issues, but this will take a little while, a little bit of sort of number crunching to actually make sure it works. There we go. Right. Because it's one of those things which I did say I would do at some point. I'm just kind of like getting it through, getting it out the way. So, yeah. Oh, how many did I put in? This is taking a long time. Okay. So, this is actually what we want to change here. So, target card vex I equals return position vex I. And this one still was the same. Okay. So yeah, I think we're getting there. Like this is a tough one. There we go. Right. Okay. I still have a feeling we. Right. Let's see how many more error messages we got to deal with. I feel like we've done a chunk of them. Okay, if that's just one, I'll take that. Oh, that's stop length. Okay. That might be like, now that you fixed that one, here's about 100 more, but let's have a look. Okay, well after doing all that, let's see what happens. Okay. Come on. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. All right. So that bit's still working. Okay. Right now, I'm just going to try and drag. Moving back. Okay, that still works, and it still returns like normal. Right now, we got a big moment of truth. What happens? Ooh, I think that works. Not quite. Why is that separating? So I think we just need to do every time we hover over, we need to set a certain vex. So that's actually, I mean, it's a good start. So for some reason, these ones are sort of separating further than they should be. So. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what to do, yeah. Right. So now I think the one on the right is going to be separate from the others. Oh, no, maybe not. Okay. Yeah, we're getting there though. Right, that's fine. I think essentially, so I did all this modulation, which was great and it served me well, but I hadn't quite compensated for for what didn't I compensate for? Yeah, I hadn't compensated for if you add or remove a card and try and modulate like midway. No, wait a sec. I think I had. I actually had compensated. I think I know what we need to do. So where I had all of this, this wasn't actually a complete waste of time. This wasn't all. This was actually, we can use quite a lot of this. Okay. Sorry, this is going to be this again. It's more just me going slightly crazy here. Let me just experiment with something. No, it turns out a lot of this code is actually quite useful. So pretty sure we don't need that. Okay, yeah, I'm going to be doing a bit of ruthless. Let's give this a try. Okay. So this is, so we don't need that. Yeah, this is going to be a bit of a work in progress here. I don't think we need any of that. Don't need that. Sorry. Before I do any of this. still want to keep this just so this preserved, so it might be useful later. But I think we can fit literally everything into a function. So get the whilst. I haven't actually worked out what the so we don't need any of that. Because the whole purpose of this was setting the new return vec, so it works better. Okay. Okay. So this is kind of irrelevant. I don't think we need this at all anymore. But let's have a little try. Yeah, I do apologise. I think I'm just a little bit tired today, and I'm trying to do something which is surprisingly quite complicated. Right. So it's all about this one here. Okay. Right. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I suppose that is what sort of game is all about. It's I think, sometimes when I think, oh, what I had actually done did actually make a bit of sense, and I was trying to sort of change it to something else, but I mean, that's kind of why you like it. It's like sometimes you get some proper, certain moments. I mean, that's why I'm kind of gutted. Like, the way when I fixed that crash problem, the reason I didn't want to show it on stream was because I was thinking this could take me hours, and I could be 3 hours in and still have made no progress. But, it was actually quite fun. I was like, that would have been really good to stream. Right. Okay, so we're still returning at the moment. So that's going into the place that it should be. Yes. Okay, I think we're there now. Let's just double check, so... Yeah, so as soon as I let go... Oh, we don't have the mana. Okay, forget that. Right. As soon as I let go, the cards go together. And, yeah, brilliant. And what I want to do as well, I think while we're here... So this has actually done the thing that I wanted to do. Right, I also want to check that the original thing that I'd fixed hasn't become unfixed. So we do this, and I'm trying to create that error message of, nope, that's still good. Again, me sort of cycling back and forth to try and get that. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do... Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, right. Sweet. Right, so I'm just looking at my list of the things that I was going to sort out. That does work. That is nice. So, yeah, sorry, the purpose of all of this... It's like an hour and a half in, it's like I've finally fixed a thing. First of all, let's get rid of the debug thing. The purpose of all of this was because we want to make sure that as soon as you've played one card, you can... you can actually, when you drag up another one while the original card is in process, it will still compensate. It will still modulate the cards accordingly. So, how do we do that? I think it will be to do with what's going on here. Oh, it is the drag card routine. That's fine. So we're holding the mouse button down. So I think I know what the problem is. I mean, like the more I think about it, I think as on pointer enter, we're doing this modulate, but it won't happen while the hand script is busy, which makes an awful lot of sense. But let me just experiment. Like I'm just going to experiment again. This is going to be one of those where if we're allowed to do what I've put force modulation, so that means that we can modulate the cards even if the hand script is busy. I mean, if I start doing that for all of them, it begs the question, why did I even need to have this in the first place? But let's give this a shot. Because, the main purpose, I want you to be able to play one card and it to be upright, and then while that animation is all occurring, you can play another one, and it will come upright straight away. Instead of it kind of coming up in a sort of curved fashion. Yeah, right. Okay. Ah. Okay. It did it in the wrong order. Let me try and work out why. So now that is very interesting. Now because it's easily fixed. But I just want to know... So I'm going to do a bit of an experiment, right? So when you have a list... I mean, I can actually show you the very, very, very short bit of code that fixes that entire problem. So for some reason, like I say, you cast, say, an attacker's and a defender's card, and you want the attacker's thing to happen first and then the defender's afterwards. And for whatever reason that I can't quite work out, it's doing it in the opposite order. So let me actually just kind of carry on playing around with that, trying to work out exactly why. Here's a good example. I'm going to play this, and then I'm going to play this. No! Why did it work that time? Okay. Yeah. Okay, it did. So we've got to make sure it's very strict. I think because I've added a few other dynamic things at this precise moment, the cards, when you're stacking cards up together, they're not happening in the intended order, and I kind of need to make sure that they do. So how do we do that? We're going to have a look at this drag routine. Yeah, and I know why. I know exactly why. Because when we do two cards at once, this manuscript is, I think, remaining busy indefinitely. Just got to work out what I can actually do to fix that. So it's remaining busy indefinitely, which means that both cards that we've played at the same time are essentially hinging on this point. and then when we actually perform the card action, it is very much like a first come first serve as to who actually gets to the end of this code and reaches there first. Right, that is... So... I mean, like, the easiest way to fix this is just move this up higher. Because, as I say, I want the game to be nice and smooth as we play it. It made an awful lot of sense at the time to have this perform card action right at the bottom. But it doesn't necessarily need to be. So I'm going to... what I'm going to do is... this might need to be turned back on with an exclamation mark. So the reason I'm doing that is, like, this is one of those kind of, you know, when you kind of like experiment and move about, because in an ideal world I want so yeah, it's fine. I actually I'm going to move this down here. So that way the mana is being spent and the cards are flipping at the same time. And here is the interesting bit. What if we actually do this right at the top? Let's give it a shot. I think it's worth a shot, because I think this, if this works, and I can't really see why not, the game will just feel a lot more dynamic, because you won't be waiting as long. There won't be as long animations. We're basically doing a bunch of stuff all in one go, and that's how people kind of want to play games. They're like, do all the things. No, I don't want to wait to see the mana being spent, then the cards flipping, then the card action. I think all this should do all three at the same time. Let's give it a shot. I'm just worried one day there's going to be an error message saying, "Don't bother, don't bother. You've done too much. Just give it up, me." No, I'm fighting against the establishment. Like, what we can probably just do all of the actual things in one go. I think for when you're putting it together in the first place, it makes sense to keep them separate. Right. So let's just play one card. That's pretty nice. Okay. Now, I want to do this, then this. Yeah, okay. I think that's really good. I think that works, you know. I think this is actually... like, it wasn't intentional, but... definitely, that feels a lot more Hearthstone-esque, or like Slay the Spire. It's just a lot smoother. I don't know, I quite like it. Right. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I know. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, does that feel... That feels a lot better, I reckon. Yeah. So let's go get some more defenders. And, okay, well, we've got too many of these cards. Yeah, obviously that we want to make smooth over. Okay, yeah. Right, this is actually... I mean, this is a lot more of a payoff than I thought. I think... Now, the thing which I need to emphasise, the reason that I kept everything separate before was because it can get complicated when you are, for example, spending the mana crystals and putting a card in the discard pile and doing the action of the card, essentially all at the same time. Oh yeah, cheers, man. I like the little what do we call it? Emoji or like yeah. But yeah, cheers, man. I think I'm actually quite happy with that. But yeah, like the reason that it took me a while to reach this conclusion, to actually make all of this, is yeah, like I say, when you have things overlapping, you have got to be very careful. You just got to be very careful when you're moving stuff around, because sometimes things can actually interact with others. So anyway, right, okay, that is actually, yeah, that's a good payoff. Right, so now here's the next thing. I know, I still write stuff in a little notebook. I know the thing that I want to do next is, again, it's not gonna be super like visually impressive. And it's like the sort of debate as to whether it's actually worth doing or not. But it's something. Oh gosh, don't know. I don't know if you can hear the banging, but I do apologise if you can. Right, right. Let me have a look. I was going to. We've got the. No, we don't need any of that. Buildings, attack building. Yeah, yeah, it might be. Oh. Yeah, I think they're doing some sort of construction-y thing next door or something. Let me have a look. Right. So here's what this is something that I was kind of planning. It was more food for thought, and I don't actually know whether to do this. We've got in attack building scripts, we're creating both the rangers. Yeah. It's a little thin. I think like, but yeah, I'm not sure. Because I think the weird thing is, in my head, it feels like it's about midnight. I've lived out in the country for so long, I don't remember what it's like having neighbours close. Yeah, no, that's fair play actually. I think like I'm sort of nearish to London, so I've got the not quite in London, but sort of close-ish. Right, so actually it'd be nice to live in the country, I think, to actually just genuinely actually have some sort of nicer views instead of like, here's some more terraced like buildings and stuff. But no, that's cool. Right, where are we? So where I've got I'm trying to think, when we're actually creating like make rangers, right? So this is like, I don't know how I feel about this. This might be something that I do sort of later, but where we make the rangers, basically we've got this code here, all of this, and all of these are actually, we're doing this particular code a bunch of times as well. There's quite a lot going on, and I'm doing this to create. I basically got almost this exact code triplicated. I've got it for both the attackers, the defenders, and the rangers. And like, it was as I was going, as I was sort of like, I think it might have been like last session, I was looking over, I was thinking it would make sense to have one big chunky script that does all of it. But I am actually realising, just purely because it's been actually a long old day, this is going to be like a super short stream. I think I'm probably going to call it here, just purely because like I know I can map out in my head what I'm going to do, but because like I say, it's been pretty stressful old day. I don't want to actually overdo it, and I feel like since we had a pretty good old high in that, like we like the fact that we've actually got the cards to look like a lot smoother, I think, even though it's felt a little bit, I haven't actually done too much this session. I think I will call it here. Oh, yeah. Oh, I love it. Yeah. Oh, that's quality. Yeah, but yeah, this has actually been like still a good solid stream. I think the only problem, the thing which I do worry about this particular stream is quite often if you're watching, you're thinking, it doesn't look like you've actually achieved that much. Everything looks exactly the same. I haven't introduced any more cards, but I would say the big sort of win is I've just added that smoothness. Yeah, exactly. It's all progress to the end goal, and I do like it. I like that sort of feel. It's genuinely giving you that slight more. It feels more of actually a game than just sort of like than you're testing and stuff. So yeah. Anyway, this is yeah. As I say, sorry, it's a bit of a short one. It's just because I had to start so late. It was a little bit awkward, but this has been genuinely a lot of fun. The KO2 fan, seriously, man, thanks. You've been like genuinely properly helpful with a bunch of stuff, so I do really appreciate that. Yeah, no, and thanks for hanging out. It's been awesome. All right, anyway, I'll be back. I'll be back with another stream, ideally Thursday, but I might do another one before then. See how it goes. All right, anyway, rock and roll. Thanks for everything, and I'll see you guys later. All right, bye.